Welcome to Code with Kurt, the channel that brings you the latest Google Sheets and Google Apps Script videos. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take a select number of files that I have listed in this Google Sheet and back them up. And what I could do is I could put this on a trigger that runs every 6 hours or every day or every week, and every week it'll back up the files that you have listed. So in this, I have my directory that I want to back it up, and this is the ID of the directory. And you can find that in the URL up here, right here. This is the ID here. And then with that, I have each file that I want to back up. This is just the name and then the ID of every file. And you can find the ID the same way I found the ID of the directory. And this just lets you know when it was backed up. So I have this all set up. I can hit backup. And here it's running a Google Apps script, going through this list. And each ID, it'll back it up and put it in this backup directory that I have set up here. So once that's complete, it'll show me what date was backed up. And then if I go to my backup directory here, and in here it will, let me get it refreshed here, there it is, show me each file that I have backed up. And it also will add a date to the back of the name right here when it got backed up. So then if this runs again, it'll add another 5 files. So I'll take you a step-by-step process of how I put this together. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to catch my latest video. Let's get started with this video. Here I am on Google Drive. I created a directory called backup, and how to do that, you just hit new folder and then give it a name. So here I have already created, so I'm going to double click into it. And then within that, I have a Google Sheet called Backup. I'm going to click on that. Brings me into my Google Sheet. Now all I have in this is directory. Here in A1, I have files in A3, and then I have this header record of name, ID, and last backup date. And then my sheet name is files down here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give my directory ID, I'm going to put it here on B1. So I'm going to go back to my directory that I'm in right now. I'm going to go up here, copy this ID up here. So I'm going to hit Control C, copy, come back, and put it right there. So that is the directory that I'm going to copy my files into. Next, I'm going to get some files to back up. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to go to my drive here, and I'm just going to go down here, I'm going to do alerts here. So I'm going to double click this, bring it up. I just want to do this file. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to grab the ID. So the ID is from after this D here, this right here, between D and edit. It's usually located right around this area. I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to just type in that. I'm going to hit Control V to paste that in there. And I'm just going to leave the backup date alone there because that's going to populate automatically. So next I'm going to grab one more file. So let's go to Bootstrap HTML form sidebar. I'll back this up. So I'm going to grab the ID again, same thing. Hit Control C, and this is Bootstrap HTML form. Like that. Hit Tab, hit Control V, got my ID in there, and that's good. So now I got these 2 files that I'm going to back up in this process. So next I'm going to go to Google Apps Script. I'm going to go to Extensions, App Script. And first thing, I'm going to rename the project here. There we go. Rename it. Next, I'm going to copy in my code. There I have my code copied in. Next, I'm going to hit Save. And next, I'm going to go through each line here. So the function is called backup. First thing I'm doing, I was grabbing the spreadsheet object SS, and from there I am declaring the sheet itself, file sheet, from the name files. So that is pulled from here, files down here. Next, I'm getting the last row because I want to know what the last row is populated, because I'm going to go through this list. So last row would be A6, last row. Then next, I'm going to grab the backup files values. So here I'm going to grab an array of really the records here from A5 to how many records you have populated. So here is just 2. So again, A5 to B would be 6. Just getting the first 2 columns there, just the name and the ID. Although ID is probably the only thing I'm going to use here, I'm still grabbing both. Next, getting the destination ID of the Google Drive. So if you go back, I'm grabbing this, got my ID. That's where I'm going to save the files. And then I'm getting just the destination here. So I'm grabbing the value here, and then I'm getting the destination object of that directory. Next, I'm doing a for loop through all my backup files. So it'll just be 2. First, I'm getting the backup file ID, which is in array, it'll be 0, 1, 0, 1 in the array. So here I'm going with the I, which is each row, and then the record, which is 1, the ID. There, I'm getting the file from that ID. I'm getting the name of that file. And then I'm getting the date. I'm setting up a date string using this utilities format date, new date. GMT is a time zone, and then you have to go plus and minus to get your time zone. So mine's -4 to get my time zone, and this is the format of the date I want. So this is just a date string. And then I'm doing my call here of make copy. So I'm taking the file, I'm making a copy of it, I'm giving it a new name, which is the existing file name of that file plus that date string. That's why I'm adding the date to the end, and then the destination, which is my backup directory. And then from there, I'm getting a row value to basically find this from the array. So I'm adding 5 because I know this is 5 rows down from the row value. And then I'm setting in the date string that I have here, basically populating this. So from here, I can tell you when the last time it was backed up. I also add that date to the back of the file. So what we'll do next is we'll run it. So I go up here, I'll run it, and then it should take us through our permissions. So review our permissions, hit my accounts, hit advanced, hit go to backup. And I'm going to allow this to add files into my directory. And also update my spreadsheet. So here it's executing. So we'll go back up here. So it's done, populated my dates here. Ooh, that was my other file. And now I go to my directory, go to backup here. I should see those 2 files in there, alerts and this. Now, if I want to add a button here just to call my script as well, there's 2 things. I could either set it up on a trigger, which I'll do that. I go over to triggers, add trigger. Here I got backup. That's the function I want. That's the only one. Header is the only one. You want time driven. And this is where you can set up a day timer, a week timer, a month timer, minutes timer, hour timer. And then you could pick up, if you want to do this every 6 hours. Say I want to back this up every 6 hours. Hit save. Again, we're going to go through the permissions for this. Advanced, backup, hit allow. Okay, so then every 6 hours it's going to run. It's going to run this function right here. which will back up, I'm going to get rid of this file, which will back up these two things. Now, if you want to just run it on your own and don't want to set up something on a timer, we can go create a button real quick here. So we're going to go to Insert Drawing, go up to Shape, Shapes, select the button one here, drag, click and then drag it to create a rectangle. Double click in here, you type in backup, that. I'm going to bold it, so I'm going to come here, I'm going to go here, hit bold, and I'm going to move it to the middle here. That I'm going to hit save and close. I click it and kind of drag it. Might shrink it down a little bit. Just put it right here. And if I click here, I'm going to go to my function here. Just need the word backup. Don't put anything else besides the word here. I'm going to copy that. Come over here. Assign script. Hit backup. So basically this is the name of the function you want to call. Hit OK. Now if I click this, it'll run this again. Call that function. That way you could do it manually here instead of having to call a timing trigger. So once that's done, those files should be in there now. Refresh. So now I got both runs there. So that concludes this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below the video. Until next time.